Once upon a chilling night, as the moon hid behind a shroud of ominous clouds, you found yourself alone in the comfort of your own home. The clock struck midnight, casting an eerie silence throughout the house. It seemed as though the walls themselves whispered secrets, and the air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding. As you made your way through the dimly lit corridors, each creaking floorboard sent shivers down your spine. The house seemed to have a life of its own, its ancient structure pulsating with an unknown energy. You couldn't shake the feeling that you were being watched, yet no one else was there. As you entered the living room, a gust of wind rattled the windows, making them tremble in their frames. The temperature dropped suddenly, causing your breath to form misty clouds in front of you. Something was terribly wrong, and an icy fear gripped your heart. Determined to dismiss your unease, you turned on the television, hoping the familiar sounds and flickering images would offer solace. But as you sat there, lost in the ethereal glow, you became aware of a faint scratching sound emanating from the walls. It grew louder with each passing moment, echoing through the empty rooms like desperate whispers. You decided to investigate, your footsteps echoing in the otherwise silent house. As you approached the source of the noise, you noticed an old door at the end of the hallway. It was a door you had never seen before, hidden behind a tapestry that seemed to have been there for centuries. The scratching sound grew more frenzied, as if something on the other side was desperate to break free. Curiosity overpowered your fear, and with trembling hands you pushed the door open. What you saw inside froze the blood in your veins. The room was filled with an eerie glow, casting haunting shadows on the walls. In the center, a decrepit doll sat upon a dusty pedestal, its glassy eyes staring straight into your soul. A sudden gust of wind blew the door shut behind you, trapping you in the room. Panic consumed you as the doll's head slowly turned, its gaze following your every move. The scratching sounds had ceased, replaced by a hollow laughter that echoed through the room. Terror gripped your heart as you realized that the doll was possessed by an ancient and malevolent spirit. It had chosen you as its victim, luring you into its lair, eager to claim your soul. Desperation set in as you frantically searched for an escape, but the room seemed to stretch and contort, trapping you within its suffocating embrace. As the night wore on, the doll's laughter grew louder, merging with the howling wind outside. You could feel its presence closing in, its intentions malicious and unforgiving. Time lost all meaning as you fought against the darkness, your screams echoing through the house, unheard by the outside world. To this day, the house stands as a testament to the horror that unfolded that night. No one dares to enter, for they say the doll still lurks within, waiting for its next victim. And as for you, dear reader, if you ever find yourself alone in the night, beware the scratching sounds and the haunting dolls, for there are things in this world beyond our comprehension, waiting to seize their moment of terror. Once upon a chilling night, in a small, secluded town, you found yourself alone in your home. The wind howled outside, whispering eerie secrets that sent shivers down your spine. The darkness seemed to seep through the windows, engulfing your every thought with a sense of impending doom. As you moved through the house, the creaking floorboards echoed like haunting footsteps behind you. The dim light from flickering bulbs played tricks on your eyes, casting ominous shadows that danced with malevolence. Each corner you turned seemed to hold a lurking presence, making your heart race and your palms sweat. An unsettling silence settled upon the house, broken only by the distant sound of dripping water. You couldn't shake the feeling that you were being watched, that unseen eyes followed your every move. The air grew heavy with a nauseating stench, a mixture of decay and something more sinister. Attempting to calm your nerves, you turned on the television, hoping for some distraction. The screen crackled to life, displaying distorted images of a long-forgotten horror movie. But as you tried to change the channel, the remote control slipped from your grasp, falling into the darkness beneath the couch. Reluctantly, you knelt down to retrieve it, your fingers trembling. As you reached beneath the couch, your hand brushed against something cold and damp. You recoiled, pulling your hand back to reveal a rotting, skeletal hand that had been concealed in the shadows. A blood-curdling scream escaped your throat as you stumbled backward, only to be greeted by a ghastly apparition. Standing before you was a figure clad in tattered garments, its eyes empty voids of darkness. It reached out to you with bony, elongated fingers, its touch draining the warmth from your body. Terrified, you turned and ran through the house, desperately seeking an escape. But the layout seemed to twist and shift, leading you deeper into a maze of rooms that you had never seen before. The walls closed in around you, their wallpaper peeling to reveal grotesque faces twisted in agony. Every door you opened revealed a nightmare within, from ghostly children whispering haunting lullabies to the twisted faces of the deceased staring back at you from shattered mirrors. The horrors grew more intense with each passing moment, as if the house itself fed on your fear. Finally, in a state of sheer panic, you burst through the front door, gasping for breath as the cool night air washed over you. The house behind you loomed ominously, its windows glowing with an otherworldly light. You stumbled away, vowing never to return, haunted by the harrowing experience that would forever taint your nights and fill your dreams with unrelenting terror. Remember, though this tale may be a figment of the imagination, the true horrors that lurk within our minds are sometimes the most bone-chilling of all. In the depths of a sinister night, you found yourself trapped in the confines of your isolated home. The wind outside howled with an otherworldly ferocity, rattling the windows as if desperate to break in. The air inside grew heavy, suffocating, as if tainted with a palpable sense of malevolence. You had chosen to spend the evening alone, seeking solace in the silence. But as the hours ticked by, the silence turned into a haunting symphony of distant whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls around you. The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison, its dark corners hiding unimaginable secrets. As you ventured from room to room, shadows danced at the periphery of your vision, playing tricks on your mind. Cold sweat dripped down your forehead, despite the stifling atmosphere. You tried to dismiss the growing unease, but the weight of an impending doom pressed upon your soul. In the heart of the night, a flickering light caught your attention. It emanated from the basement, a place you rarely ventured into. Hesitation gripped your trembling limbs, but a sinister curiosity compelled you to descend into the abyss below. The creaking stairs added an eerie rhythm to your descent, each step amplifying the feeling of being watched. As you reached the bottom, a putrid stench assaulted your senses, a combination of decay and something far more sinister. The flickering light led you to an ancient wooden door, adorned with cryptic symbols etched into its surface. Against your better judgment, you pushed open the door, revealing a scene straight out of a nightmare. The room was an unholy sanctuary, lit by candles that cast grotesque shadows on the blood-stained walls. Rusty chains dangled ominously from the ceiling, swaying with a life of their own. In the center of the room stood an altar, adorned with blasphemous symbols and surrounded by arcane artifacts. As your gaze fell upon it, a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the candles one by one. Darkness enveloped you, leaving only the haunting whispers that seemed to come from every direction. A chilling voice, filled with a malicious delight, echoed through the chamber. It spoke of forgotten rituals, of ancient entities hungering for mortal souls. Panic consumed you as you realized you had stumbled upon a cursed ritual site, a place where the boundary between our world and the realm of nightmares was perilously thin. You tried to flee, but the door slammed shut, sealing your fate within the unholy room. The chains rattled, as if awakened by an unseen force, wrapping themselves around your trembling body. The air grew colder, as if the very essence of life was being drained from your veins. In the depths of despair, you screamed for mercy, for release from the clutches of this unholy abomination. But your cries were met with laughter, a cacophony of deranged mirth that twisted your sanity. The walls seemed to close in, the ceiling descending upon you, as if the room itself sought to claim your tortured soul. To this day, your fate remains unknown, lost in the annals of a horrifying tale. Those who dare to enter the house claim to hear your desperate whispers, a spectral presence forever trapped in the cursed basement. The world beyond shudders at the mere mention of that house, for it serves as a chilling reminder that some nightmares are all too real, and there are forces in this world that should never be disturbed.